All right.
Nice. Woo. All right, all right, all right. You want to listen to the whole thing? Or?
Your show, man. I'm just a guest.
Bill, thanks for joining us tonight. We got Bill Wingery, a Molson champion back in '05, and
Yeah. Oh, fine. Thanks.
but a core member of our league here joining us tonight. Bill, you did a great job during the Molson Drunk History.
I had
Uh,
a blast. I had a blast with that.
it was a good time. We had everybody
Yeah.
together. It was fun to go back and look through that, and
Yeah.
yeah, I got drunk during that too. That was fun.
I did too, and I think maybe some people didn't like, and I thought that was the point, and I got pretty messed up.
Yeah, I wasn't jumping on the trampoline with my shirt off, but it was good. It was good.
Oh,
Uh,
thanks for having me. I figured, you brought me on so that, I could share some of the things that I'm working on. Isn't that what generally happens on the show? So just want
yeah,
to give a little shout out to the Molson Beer Exchange, and try and get some people on board. It's, Andy Shell and I have been having fun with it. I'm currently drinking the Miami Beer Company Mega Mix.
dude,
It's
I
delicious.
saw I saw that can and I was like, man, that is an awesome can.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So far the beers have been pretty good. And it's nice to kind of change things up every now and then. I'm sure as much as we've been, quarantined and obviously coming back out into life, but you get tired of some of the same beers you drink all the time. So it was fun. And, hopefully we'll do it again, but we need more people outside of Ohio to take part of it.
For sure.
If I exchange beers with you, it's going to be beer you could probably just get yourself.
Yeah, I think that's
So
probably true.
not
Um,
99%. Maybe there's something I can't get, but
yeah, my friend, the urinator in Montana, Dangerous there, he will send me some stuff every once in a while, which is good.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's good. Um, but I got so what kind of beer is that you're drinking there, the Mega Mix?
I believe it's a pale ale. Um, so on Beer Advocate scored a 91. So solid beer. Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm drinking a Wolf Ridge tonight.
I haven't had that. Where is that?
It's in Columbus. They have a lot of different styles. I like their beer a lot actually, and
I've heard of them. I just didn't know where it was.
yeah, it's expensive stuff, and it's I don't know, it's good stuff. I like it. So if you ever see some, pick some up. You'll like it. So any thoughts on what the board came up with? First off,
Overall, I think they did a good job. Um, I think we don't have many options with the amount of weeks that we have in a season. Um, the only thing that I would have liked to see, and I kind of talked to Sonny about it, but it might have been after we stopped the recording last time, was I thought this would be one season that maybe expanded playoffs would have been a cool thing to see, only because in a 6 week or now without expanded playoffs, a 7 week season, I don't know if you truly see the best four teams over, the course of a normal season. You can have a team that gets hot and, maybe in a normal season they don't make the playoffs. But we kind of got to deal with the cards that were dealt, and I'm okay with it. It's not like I'm gonna, appeal the season or anything like that. But I think that's the only thing that I would have liked to see a little bit differently.
gotcha. I'm with you on that. I would have liked the extended playoffs. I think even maybe the first round of playoffs, keep it 7 weeks, but have like a pairing, like a three, like six teams, like three going against each other and three going against each other,
That's
and then
interesting.
the two finals coming together.
Yeah,
Um,
I hadn't even thought of something like that. I was thinking maybe, just an 8-man playoff, which gets to be too much. That's 75% of your teams making the playoffs. But the counter argument to that is, uh, you know, 6, 7 weeks in, a month and a half in, you're losing 75% of your league already. But we got to deal with what we got to do. I do think, looking back on it now, the choice to not open the waivers was a smart choice, because right now it's chaos. Who's available, who's not available, who's got corona, who hasn't shown up to camp, and it's not quite coronavirus. They're still in their quarantining period coming into it. It's a nut house, and I think there have been a lot of too much picking up, dropping the same guy back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I think it's
Yeah.
smarter the closer we get to the season. You can kind of figure out what you got and the moves you need to make. And that first minute, not even hour, is probably going to be chaotic. I think everybody has a roster move they have to make of some sort, whether it's, a couple teams are missing, like a second baseman or a shortstop. People have had people opt out. David Price, Mike Leake.
Yeah.
You have
Outfield.
you have injuries. Injuries after the shutdown. I lost my like sixth starter, Chris Archer. So stuff like that.
He's like your fourth starter.
He's
But
not my fourth starter. He's not my fourth starter.
uh, one thing about that too is like I've seen players put on the IL, and now those players will, should come back hopefully before the season starts. But I think that we need to have unlimited IL spots. Open it all up. You can have all your players on that IL. You don't have to worry about dropping that player because they got coronavirus for 2 weeks.
I think unlimited might be a lot, but I think it's still open for conversation though, because the message I heard from the board was we don't know yet. We still got to see what's going on. From my understanding, there is a different IL and a COVID IL, but then they're saying we can't tell you if they have it or not, and then all of a sudden, oops, they're on the COVID-19 IL. So I think it's still something that pan out over the next couple of weeks. Now, I mean, I don't foresee somebody's whole roster getting coronavirus, but I don't know. I mean, not sure.
Right. So that's what I'm pushing for is unlimited IL spots.
That's
Just
insane.
yeah,
I
you have a
just,
rock.
but I feel like the downside of that is somebody's just going to pick up hurt players and just stash.
I think maybe we could say you can't do that.
Yeah, I just it comes into an integrity issue, and I feel like most people in the league do have integrity and wouldn't do something like that. But you could do it because you're saying unlimited. I mean,
On
maybe 10, and that's still extreme. But I mean, unlimited, you just have 50 guys on your IL.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, so I like having that. But hey, one thing I was wondering about, what do you think happens? Let's say one of your keepers goes down. I don't want to jinx anybody, but or maybe they opt out and they don't play for the year. You like before the season starts.
Yeah.
You burn a keeper for that year or no?
so
Rest.
so the opt out guys are then not on the IL, right?
Right. I think yeah. I don't think so.
So I mean, I think that's something before the season starts that we need to figure out once we get closer. Maybe a week and a half from now. On today's what, the 9th. So
Seventh.
maybe by the 6th. No, well, waivers open the 19th. Sometime before the waivers open, we need to kind of figure out what that looks like, because players could go all the way up until opening day, and Mike Trout's like, you know what? Nah, I changed my mind. I'm going to opt out.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm talking keeper specifically.
Right, but even a player like that, keepers, I think, fall in the same thing. We need to have some sort of plan to maintain the keeper status, because they may opt out, but you still want them, and you've invested this time in a keeper. So I think that needs to be on a one-off basis, and hopefully the board can come up with some ruling. If that happens, here's what we're going to do, and you know keep them on your. I guess you wouldn't even need to keep them on your roster, but within the you know, integrity of the league, an extra IL spot or something that you can move him into. I don't know, but
Right.
I do think you should be allowed to keep the keeper status, but not have it affect your season. I don't know.
Yeah, I say if like one of your keepers opts out or doesn't play a game this year, you shouldn't burn a keeper a year for that keeper.
Oh,
That's what
you shouldn't even lose a year. Is what you're saying.
I'm saying.
Okay.
And I think
Yeah.
my keeper right now, or maybe Jordan's not.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with Jordan, man. He hasn't reported. They're saying maybe it's his knees, maybe it's COVID. I don't know.
No, I think like some players they were talking about maybe over the Fourth of July weekend weren't really reporting because it's Fourth of July. They wanted to like hang out with their families and stuff.
God, I hope not. I mean, they've been off for how many months, and that's the excuse. I do know. I think part of it is after a COVID positive test, they want you to self isolate for 14 days. And I think even coming into reporting the camp, part of the protocols were to self isolate for 14 days. Just to try and get the numbers down. And I think some of the players didn't do that. And so, if you started 2 days late, then you're going to report the camp 2 days late, because there have been a few guys that have been reported late to camp, and you just assume it was, corona, and they didn't have it. So
They were around people. I hear you have to have
yeah,
negative tests before you're allowed back in.
yeah. So Joey Gallo on my team yesterday was positive, and today he's negative. So I'm not quite sure how that happens. But I'm reading through, my players, and I'm like, wait, what? He's negative. He was just positive yesterday. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they didn't announce it till yesterday. So you're telling me that was his day 14 and it's out of the system? Because I would assume he has to take it again tomorrow to get that second negative test like you're talking about.
Right. Interesting. Uh, One of the things you brought up Mike Trout, and Mike Trout's having a kid. Garrett Cole had his kid, so
Yeah, he should be. Garrett Cole should be fine now, but who knows? Maybe he's just like, I got an infant. I'm gonna roll with it. But for everything that I've heard from about Garrett Cole is he's gonna roll with it. Mike
yeah,
Trout has been very wishy-washy. Like, I want to be there with my guys. I got this stuff I want to do, but it's
he's
also my first child.
he's wearing a mask running around the bases.
I saw Choi was doing that too, G-Man Choi, but I think that's a cultural thing, for him. They wear masks in flu season over in Asia, so I think that's probably a cultural thing for him. And um, not to get in a math discussion, but I think that's what it is.
So, question about Trout. If you own Trout right now, would you be looking to sell Trout? Let's say
I
you could trade
mean,
right now.
I would probably try to. I don't know if anybody's really gonna buy him right now, but
Would you trade for Trout right now? You
not.
talked
I
about him,
mean, it would have to be lower than normal value, I think. I mean, just the uncertainty.
right? Obviously, I mean, um, but hey, well, let's say you got Gallo.
hmm
You trade Gallo for Trout right now?
I mean, he's not going to do that, but yeah, I would.
Yeah,
Gallo's going to play
right,
100%,
right.
but I would trade him. I mean,
I mean, it'd be a big risk right now to take on Trout because somebody around him, a couple players get sick on his team, and then you're like, Trout's like, well, you know what, I'm gonna bow out.
yeah. I mean, Yax is probably the best team to trade Trout for. He's got 7 outfielders, so he can send like three back.
Three outfielders to
Three
Brett.
to 3-1.
Big trade. Yeah, I mean, like, who would you give up? Who would be you trade Rizzo for Trout right now?
Well, I mean, not to be sneaky, but Rizzo just came up with some back issues today. So yeah, of course I would. He's never going to take in a
Uh,
million years even a healthy Rizzo for Trout.
yeah, I wonder
If
what
I
the
if I if I'm on Brett's end either, though, yeah, I wouldn't take the trash trades that would probably be offered to me. I mean, you just got to roll with the punches and kind of see what happens. it's back and forth on what he's going to do, but from my understanding, he's going to play. It's just he's going to miss like on the front end and the back end,
That's what I'm
coming
gonna say.
out and coming back in time, to reinsert himself into his family and then reinsert himself into the MLB bubble, if you will. I mean, they don't have a bubble, but they have a protocol for your reentry into the league. So
So we're drafting today. Where does Trout go?
I think he falls. I mean, probably still first round, but I don't think he's second overall. He's still the best player in the league.
Yeah, but you're missing,
Yeah,
20% of this.
yeah. It's
Uh,
it's it's who's going to take the risk, and I think some of the guys in our league would take on that risk. And I think it also depends on who your keepers are.
sure.
Um, I think if we redraft today, Hassel still takes Cole, but his roster would be able to take on the risk for Trout because of the outfielders he already has. I mean, he's
Yeah,
got Acuna and Bellinger, so he could take on that risk. Now, I still think he's still going to take Cole, obviously, number one. So
sure. But yeah, if he was drafting like in the 10th spot or the fifth
right.
spot,
Hmm.
I don't know where Trout falls, but he, he's definitely on the back end of the first round, I think.
I wouldn't take him where I was drafting. I was still going to take a pitcher. So
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Um, so yeah, anything with the draft? I mean, what would have you changed about your draft going into the way that your strategy would have been?
I don't think much of it would have changed. I like the way my team kind of ended out, but I feel like throughout the league, probably the elite, and I don't even know how it would be possible, the elite starters would move up even more because those
Right.
are the guys that are going to go and get the quality starts. Some of these untested arms, I don't think they're going to have, you got 60 games. You have relievers that need to get innings, guys that generally pitch 73 games a year, are crammed into 60 games. So, what will the relievers need to pitch? 40 to 50 games for them to even get their value. And plus at the beginning of the season, rosters are 30 people. Then it goes
Right.
down to 28 and 26. But I think besides your top flight starters, you're going to be hard pressed the first couple of weeks of the season getting quality starts. They're just
Yeah.
not going to go deep enough into the season. Why waste your guys in the first 2 weeks when you have the expanded rosters when most of that expansion is going to be extra relievers, because some of these guys I've read reports, not just on my team, on other teams. A lot of these guys feel like they could go out and pitch. I think it was DeGrom this morning. I could pitch 100 pitches tomorrow. Well,
6
yeah. So I mean, but he's somebody that should be allowed to do that. Some of these younger coming up aces, I think they need to have a shorter leash just based on roster.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about Luzardo being limited, obviously, and then some people behind him coming in. Like we're gonna see some load masters for sure. It's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting.
At the beginning of the season, there might be some piggyback platoons. Like you've got six guys fighting for the rotation, and one guy, the last two guys are only able to do 4 innings right now. Well, then one starts and one piggybacks on it, and
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see when that happens. Oh, I hear the Reds are gonna throw out Bauer every 3 days or something like that.
he wants to pitch every 4 days. And DJ, the pitching coach, is like, yeah, I think he can do it, and he should do it to stay in his rhythm. But they're not going to a 4-man rotation. It's just
Right.
Bauer every 4 days,
Right.
and then you just move everybody else around.
Right there.
It's just
Oh,
not. It's just. I mean, as poorly as he pitched the second half once we got him, I think
yeah.
that's a terrible idea. I think overall he is a good pitcher. He's just adjusting to the National League, but I don't think the talent that the Reds actually have now. Don't do that. That's so stupid. Why would you do that?
I thought I had him as a steal. I kept him in the fifth round. I was like, he's a steal. He's like a Cy Young contender.
He could be. He's got the potential to be. It's just I think again, with roster sizes being expanded early on in the season, why would you pitch a guy and start him every 4 days, which is in modern era, quote unquote, short rest? That doesn't make any sense.
60 games, man. It's a sprint. You
It
know,
is
it's
it is a sprint, but I mean, based on last year, he's not even the best pitcher on our team. I think he's slated in like the three hole for us as the third starter. So
right. I think so. Yeah. So, oh, one of the questions I had for you was who's going to be the highest draft pick to get dropped first?
right now it's the fifth round. I think that's when, or maybe it was the sixth. That's David Price for Hassel. So
Okay.
he's going to be dropped.
Yeah.
And then,
Good.
besides that one, uh, I don't know. I mean, it really comes down to who opts out. I mean, Mike Trout opts out. He's going to get, I don't know why Brett would hang on to him. He's got to drop him.
Right, yeah.
Um,
Unlimited
so,
DLs and
but again, I don't think opt out's a DL spot. So,
sure, I know, I gotcha. Let's take a look here. Let me get back into that draft.
so hard
Um,
to look at the draft though, the way it was entered. So
oh gosh, you're killing me. Yeah. One thing about the board needs to be fixed is that the draft, the way it was entered, it's like team and then another team and then another team. So instead of snaking back like you normally would be able to look at a draft, you got to look at the
yeah,
draft.
yeah. So Hassel basically has the first 22 picks in the draft. Not even, don't we pick 23? So that doesn't even make sense either. But yeah, I mean, we take 23 picks. I don't know why that happened, but yeah, he his basically got put in order picks 1 through 22 instead of every other team drafting.
So that kind of goes into this, like the first highest draft pick to get dropped, and we could say it's going to be Josh Bell here from Make It Rain in the what round is that? Sixth round, right? Could be something like that. And what we're going to get into tonight is the volatility of each team.
Yeah,
Um, with the shortened season, you just don't know like how these players are going to come out. And if you're a month into the season and Josh Bell's hitting 200, like you
right.
kind of bait, like
Yeah. No, I think that's a good example. Josh Bell obviously had a phenomenal year last year, but sophomore slump, so to speak. I mean, see what happens in the 60 game season. Other than that, just kind of looking at some of the teams. Um, Laureano, I think is how
oh,
you pronounce his name. That's Yox's team. That's 4 or 5. That's the seventh round.
yeah.
I, I, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, you think Mikey could drop Chris Bryant? Goldschmidt?
No, no, I don't think he'll drop Chris Bryant just because of his, um, hatred of Brett Mack and fantasy world. He just wants to hold on to him as long as he can, just to prove Brett wrong. So I don't think that'll happen.
I got the player. It's Reese Hoskins. It's Reese Hoskins, dude.
What round was that?
It looks like it was the seventh round, eighth round, around
Yeah, I
there.
mean he was hot the first half of last year, but then he kind of sucked after I traded him to Mikey.
After I trade him to you, then you trade him to Mikey.
Is that how it went?
Yeah, I think that's
Uh,
how it went.
I don't remember. Um, Tommy Pham. What round is that? One, two, three. He's eighth round. I don't think he's all that great personally, and he just got coronavirus, so we'll see how that shakes out.
So do you have that sheet I kind of I sent you over about players that I think are pretty solid for the team, and then I have the players that are kind of wild cards that are going to be
Yeah, yeah,
kind
have it in my text.
kind of up in the air. And I kind of want to go through each team and then figure out which team is the most volatile, which team is either like a boom or bust type of team.
Sure.
Um, and we can start with myself here. The players that I think are pretty solid that I shouldn't have any problems with. I got Moustakis. I think is pretty. He is who he is basically, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I have a problem with him. I got Bregman. I think I got Jeff McNeil, who's not going to, a player that's not going to slump here, for a 60 game season. And then the last player that's I think is just kind of solid for me, it could be Jordan Alvarez. Just he does have a high batting average. I know it's his sophomore year, and I don't know if he's in that mix or not, but
Yeah, he'd probably be more borderline. I think Moose, Bregman, McNeil are probably solid. You know, you think McNeil's better than most people, but he's like kind of what you said with Moose. He is what he is. I mean, he's gonna produce, and it's the value you give his production is probably higher than somebody else gives him, but
or he's not,
he'll put up numbers.
yeah, he's not going to hit 240.
No, he shouldn't.
No, he could hit 400.
Yeah, and then on
Yeah,
your other side, you got Pete Alonso, and again, I think that's sophomore slump or not. Is he going to put it up again? And we don't know. I mean, I think he's a great player too. Obviously, I drafted him
yeah,
last year with the intention of keeping him too. But you don't know until he comes out and how quickly can he adjust. Because I do think in a 60 game season, some of the older guys should be able to handle that more than younger guys
sure.
because I feel like rookies, sophomores, those guys are slower normally to make adjustments than your veterans, your Nelly Cruz, names of that like.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be seeing a lot of different pitchers that they've never seen before,
Right.
uh, playing with the Central, East and West divisions. But yeah, I got Pete Alonso, Eduardo Escobar, Aaron Judge is in there. You got to throw him in there too. And then Franmil Reyes as kind of like those players that could boom or bust.
Right.
Um,
I mean, if Judge isn't hurt and he doesn't get hurt, and I mean, I think that's a big if. He could be outstanding, but the guy is like a piece of glass.
could be the steal of the draft, for sure.
Potentially.
I mean, that's a second round player normally, and I got him what in the seventh round. Yeah,
Potentially.
he's the steal of the draft. Um, so yeah, so I definitely has some risk there, but it goes the other way as well. So let's move on to Gupta's team here. I think his solid bats here. You got Story. I mean, even Story is kind of tough, but you got Donaldson and you got Max Kepler. I think those players should be good for him.
I feel like Story has to be at this point cut some slack because he did. He had a terrible year, and then the last 2 years he's been really good. So
Yeah.
I feel like he's made some adjustments and he's kind of found his rhythm. So I think he should be all right. Donaldson, he mashes. So I mean, he's going to put up 40 home run pace. I mean, he's not going to get 40 home runs in 60 games, but pace for that.
We could talk 162 here for the rest of this. Yeah, no, you're right, and he's in a great lineup. It's a different park for sure, um, but and then you throw Max Kepler in on the Twins as well too, and I think you got a pretty solid something. Also in these players, I didn't include catchers because fuck catchers,
Yeah,
and with pitchers, I was looking at these teams and like we all have like a one and two, maybe a three. Um, so I didn't want to include pitchers because I just like was like you just can't really tell with pitchers.
sure.
So I will just focus on just hitting here. Um, so moving on to his bust here, I think that's it. I mean, I think Story, Kepler, and Donaldson is who he's got, but you got Reese Hoskins, you got Schwarber, Justin Upton, and I got to throw Nelly Cruz in there for Gupta because of the
He's so
age.
old. Yeah, and I just mentioned him a second ago, obviously, that I think he can make adjustments. I think Nelly will surprise us again. I mean, he does every year. He just keeps getting older and just keeps, even after, the roid bust, he just still comes out and just, rips. Hoskins, uh, I think he's a career bust. I don't think he's ever going to be what we want him to be.
He's like a 225 hitter for the rest of his
Right.
career.
Like I
Maybe
want to get excited about him. I was excited when he was part of the trade. Like, hey, this is a guy that I think's got real, potential, almost like that, Ryan Howard in his heyday potential. But I just don't think he's ever going to do it. Schwarber, I don't know the deal with that guy. Sometimes he's really good, sometimes he sucks, and maybe part of that was Joe Madden. I don't know, and now Madden's gone.
Yeah, no, I mean he definitely has that potential to have like an amazing year.
Right. Especially just 60 games.
Right.
Asking Schwarber to do 162 seems like an impossible task. But
88. Oh, and yeah, no,
yeah,
you're right. Yeah, I mean injuries aside, but yeah, I feel like that Nelly Cruz pick by Gupta is like a big poppy pick back when he won it back in I don't know 16 or 17.
yeah,
Like I mean that's Gupta's MO right there is Nelly Cruz there.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and yeah, I mean that's kind of his team right there. It's like you know I don't know those hitters in the shortened season could be good.
yeah.
Picking up.
I think anybody on the Twins is going to be good this year. I mean, and that's obviously, yeah, it's not a big jump based on how well they did last year, but now they're playing the Pirates, and adding that into playing Kansas City all the time, Tigers all the time, and that's their schedule. I mean, they're not having to go out and play the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Angels.
Is it determined that the Twins have the best schedule?
Oh, I
I
don't
think
know. I mean, I
I
would
think
imagine.
Twins and then the Yankees I think have the best schedules.
I wonder why the Yankees. I mean, they still got to play the Red Sox and
I
the
I know,
Braves and
right? That AL
the
East,
Mets.
I'm sorry, that the East is like pretty stacked, but I guess maybe the Yankees just play the Pirates. I mean, yeah, the Pirates a lot.
I f- No, the Yankees don't play the Pirates at all. Pirates are in the Central,
Who am
so
I thinking?
I don't
Marlins a
know.
lot.
Yeah, the Marlins potentially, but they can't play them that much because they have to play. And I haven't looked at every schedule, but from my understanding, I thought it was in the interleague play you play your um, natural rival of
Ten times.
the most games,
Yeah,
which would be the Mets. So
right. The closest team and stuff like that. I think determine that as well too. Okay, let's move on to CMD here. You can pull up his team if you want. Uh, so CMD, he's got JD Martinez, he's got Matt Chapman and Ketel Marte as players that I deemed as safe players.
hmm
Uh, but then the rest of his lineup, and no, I don't think maybe I'm being fair to Harper here.
no,
Bryce
but I
Harper,
mean Harper has those streaks though. He has terrible streaks where he's just. I think he's one of the most overrated players in baseball. These huge contracts he's getting, and besides his what was that his second season? I mean, what has he done?
right? I mean, last year he was pretty solid. He was.
But what did he hit? 250? I don't know. I'm not looking at his stats, but
He's around 2.6, yeah, around there. Um,
that sounds like Chris Davis to me. I mean,
so yeah, for his bus players, you got Ronald Guzman,
I don't even
John.
know who the fuck that is, and I don't think he does. He called him a different name at the draft, like Jose Guzman or some shit.
Well, he had done like a strikeout, I think. So he that was like one of his last, like towards the end of the picks. He plays for Texas, so that's why he drafted him. Um, Jonathan VR, he's got Harper, I got Stanton in there, Tommy Pham. And would you include Sano in there as one of those potential bus players, or are you going to give Sano a pass here?
I feel like you have to. I mean, how many major league players that were solid have been in their career been sent back down to AAA? I mean, something's going on with him. Now that was what 2 years ago, but or was that last year?
Good last year. I'm not sure, but
But I feel like there's got to be some bust potential there because of that.
yeah. And he did kidnap a guy, I guess.
What's going on with that?
Oh, so he was found like it's all good. No,
Oh,
don't
really?
worry.
No big deal.
That's no big deal. Yeah, it's
The
yeah, I was
re-
kind of
yeah. Now the reports on Stanton are that he should be fine, but that scares me. Just kind of like with the Judge thing. Those two, I mean, have so much potential, but they just get hurt all the time.
I've been hearing so he had a grade one calf strain for Stanton, and I hear that people are more have better thoughts about Judge this year than Stanton's health to start the season.
Hmm.
Going into the season, not saying that they're not going to play to start.
I didn't think Judge was swinging a bat until like recently, right?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago he was hitting off a tee, and then now like he's like taking cuts, against Tanaka and stuff.
That can't be good. I thought Stanton was the one that did that. Judge did that?
It was Stanton, but
Yeah.
Tanaka, that was I texted Mikey. I was like, oh, dude,
It's not good.
did not look good.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, CMD. I think. I mean, that's and it could be great. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
No, but there's not a lot of. I mean, that can be an 11 and 0 week, and then an 0 and 11 week the week after that roster.
for sure. Look, Stan goes off, Harper goes off, Sano goes
Right.
off, Ketel Marte goes off. Like
But then in the next week they each throw up 5 points apiece.
JD Martinez. Like those players could all
Right.
go mad. All right, Detroit Diesel. Let's see who we got here.
You skipped over Cosby.
Oh, let's get to Cosby. Sorry, Cosby cocktail. JT Realmuto, DJ
Yeah.
LeMahieu. This was pre-COVID, and then Springer as his solid players. I threw Realmuto in here because it's his keeper. I said I wasn't doing catchers, but we got to
He's
include
the
him,
he's the best catcher, so it is what it is.
and he's going to play like every single day. I think out there.
Yeah.
And for his bus, Danny Santana, Gleyber Torres, Benintendi, and Goldie were his bus. I didn't include Conforto in here. I didn't know what to do with Conforto or Elvis Andrews. I don't know if they're safe or not, but
I feel like Benintendi kind of gets into that same realm as Reese Hoskins for me. Like he's never lived up to what I wanted him to be. Maybe my expectations were too high. I don't know. He's been solid and he's been drafted really high in the past,
he was.
but I don't feel like he ever lived up to that second or third round pick or whatever it was he got drafted at.
I wonder who people thought he was. I don't know, but he wasn't that guy.
He had like a really hot second half, like the first time he got called up, and then that next season it didn't really
Right.
pan out to what the expectations were. Goldie was dog shit last year, so I mean I don't know. I mean he's obviously got potential. He was a great hitter in Arizona, but he hasn't done it in St. Louis yet. So
So I traded Voigt for Goldie and you Darvish, and Goldie after that was not too bad. And he had a week where he had like 6 home runs. He went off. He went off.
yeah, he's got potential. I'm pretty sure I think that's the player I traded to Steve in the draft last year. So, like I traded him for an eighth and ninth round pick or something like that, and I drafted him in the third round. So I mean, Goldie's got potential, but I just feel like since he's left Arizona, he hasn't been as good.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So yeah, there's definitely some bust potential there. A couple players that we're not sure about, but really, I mean, Realmuto, LeMahieu, and Springer as your backbone there. I don't know, not
Great.
not not bad though.
I think Playbar has potential, but I'm still not sold on him yet either.
Yeah, I hear you. Detroit Diesel. There's two players from Detroit Diesel that I deemed safe. He's got Arenado and he's got Juan Soto. Um, the rest of them, I either couldn't peg as a bust or
Yeah.
for his bust. I had Chris Bryant, Carlos Correa, Azuna, and Mancada. He's
Yeah.
got Tommy La Stella as his second baseman right now. And what do you think about Jose Abreu? he's safe, right?
I feel like he's pretty safe. I mean, I think he's a guy. I got to pull up his stats, but I feel like in the last 3 or 4 years, he's always like over 100 RBIs, isn't
I mean, he's a top 8 first baseman,
he?
right?
Yeah, yeah, he's pretty safe. 286, 304, 365. Yeah, I feel like he's pretty safe. He's never gonna wow you for a month, but I feel like he'll still put up solid numbers. Soto has not reported to camp, and it's not non-injury related. Um, and his start of the season's questionable right now. So
Oh, fun.
they said that he um, is in isolation protocols, coming in close contact with somebody that was positive.
Yeah, shit. Where do you think Jose Abreu went in our draft? What round did Mikey draft him?
7th,
Third.
3rd. That, that's strong. I mean, I'm surprised that we didn't like in the moment notice that, but
Bernardo, Patrick Corbin, Jose Abreu. Um,
I
I
feel
mean,
like I feel like who was that? Was it Mikey? I was looking at earlier. I need to look at this before I say it, but I felt like his pitching staff was pretty bad.
yeah, I think you're
It's
right.
just there's just no top tier guy. I mean, I feel like he's one of the staffs. Um, Manaya, is he an ace? No. Corbin? No. I mean, I
Hey,
don't.
Crass playing, so that's good. And he's
Carrasco has potential, but I just don't trust him yet.
right.
And then Keuchel, no. Tanaka, no. Maybe that guy's still alive. Evaldi, no. Hap, no. Eflin, Lester, no, no. Like he doesn't have an ace.
He's got Corbin. Corbin's an ace.
I don't. I don't think he is.
He is an ace. He
Uh,
is.
I mean, I feel like you're being nice to your brother, but I don't think he is.
No way, man. Corbin is an ace for sure. For sure.
uh, uh,
Uh, but yeah, his Brian Correa, Carlos Correa, Ozuna, Moncada. I mean, those are players you're just not going to count on right now. Um,
no, I
yeah.
agree.
Let's move on to Hoff here. Now, Hoff has some players that are pretty solid um, as his backbone. He's got Bellinger, Anthony Rendon, Marcus Simeon, Ronald Acuna. So two of his keepers, obviously, should be pretty solid.
Right.
That Bellinger and Acuna, man, let's hope those guys stay healthy and we can burn them through this year and
Yeah.
get rid of that.
Yeah.
Rendon,
Rendon's a great pick there. We've
is,
all said that.
that's just crazy. And Marcus Simeon. For his bust, I had Edwin Encarnacion, um, David Dahl, and he's got Kyle Tucker still. I mean,
Kyle Tucker's not on a major league roster, is he?
I mean, I think I don't know if he's going to start. Is he starting for the Astros yet?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know either.
they were saying he was going to get some reps at first base in the first spring training, but I don't know. Dusty Baker's crazy, so maybe they'll find room for him. But I mean,
I mean, all the potential in the world, right? But
yeah, but it was crowded. I mean, that was one of the reasons he didn't get called up earlier last year. I mean, there's just not room for him in that lineup.
he doesn't have one bench bat. Oh, he's got Keston Hiura as his second baseman. I think Keston Hiura is solid. I think he's going to hit for average. Has a little pop. I think he's fine.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
worry.
for second base, it's a nice addition for power. I mean, he
Yeah, I like
hit 19 home runs in 84 games last year. So
uh, I like this lineup. I mean, it's so weird that he's got Bellinger and Acuna, but his outfield is Kyle Tucker and David Dahl, and then for utilities, like uh,
yeah, I feel
there's
like I
he needed
feel
like
like his draft like fell apart, and I think he blames it on having to deal with the technology, and all that. But and his team is getting decimated by coronavirus. I mean, he already lost Domingo Herman for suspension. Eduardo Rodriguez tested positive.
Yeah.
Hector Neris tested positive. David Price opted out. Garrett Cole just had a baby, so that one I think's okay now, but it was in question there for a minute.
He's been getting any
Uh,
sleep.
it's weird, but he has three relievers. So I don't know who this guy is. Maybe he's a top prospect or something. Josh Lindblom.
Lindblom.
Is he gonna start?
No, he's not a starter. Actually, I don't know.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
Brewer's rotation's awful, so it wouldn't surprise me if he does.
Right.
But I mean, like the back half of his rotation is going to scare nobody. I mean, Voth from Washington, Lindblom, Kunta Kenta,
Mm-hmm.
Means. He's got a load master in Yarbrough,
Yep.
which Yarbrough had good statistics last year, but I mean, he only started half the games he was in, so
Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't scare anybody. After starting with Bellinger and Acuna, we were all scared, but I think his team's kind of fallen back to the rest of the pack, to be honest. So,
Ooh. Okay. That's
I mean,
some.
are we lying here, or what are we talking about?
I don't think we're lying. I think you're right. Let's move on to to. Hey, here we go. Your team,
Yeah,
Gammon's Cup. Hey, what about Gammon's Peter Gammon's winning the death match?
yeah, it's awesome. I mean, clearly Gammons is a swole old dude, just fucking shit up.
A 9.5 foot tall Peter Gammons?
It'd be pretty intimidating. And he also just comes with so much knowledge. I mean,
Oh,
and in a Boston accent, he just fucks people up.
he's so filthy. I'd be
I
scared. It's like things of nightmares.
mean,
Like definitely the scariest mascot out of any team is a 9.5 foot tall Peter Gammons.
hmm
Okay, so you got some pretty solid background of your team. Rafael Devers, Anthony Rizzo. Is Rizzo solid? Are you gonna count Rizzo as a solid player?
I mean, he always puts up decent numbers. I don't care for him, but I don't always draft based on, people that I like or dislike. I mean, I feel like you just gotta take the value that's there.
How come
Um,
you always end up with Rizzo though? Like
just
you
always there.
you don't like him.
I don't. I really don't.
Um,
I don't like him, but for where he's at, I feel like I can't ever let him slide, because he's got the
I mean,
value there.
potential 30 home run guy every year.
Right.
Uh, I mean, what do you think going into the season? How many home runs do you think he was going to get?
30.
30.
Yeah, I mean, that's like his 30, 100 RBIs, bat 293, something like that.
Gotcha. All right. Well, you got Ozzy Albies and Eddie Rosario, who I
Yeah.
think you should be fine
Twins.
with. For
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We already talked about how good the Twins are. So.
Yeah. Anybody else do you think should have been in that mix as solid players? Should Tatis should have been in there?
No, I think he's, kind of one of those guys that has a lot of potential, but he still needs to show something. He had a good year last year. Don't get me wrong. That's why I traded for him. But
Yeah.
um,
Like to watch some games this year. Like I can't wait to see what Tatis does, and
right.
good or bad. I want to be watching him. He's such a dynamic player. For your not your bust, but your uh, you know volatile players. Tatis, I had Gallo in there, obviously. You got Verdugo on your team. When did you get Verdugo on your team?
Felt like it was late, but I don't know. I think he's gonna have a good year in Boston, but but he's not a proven player, so he's a guy that has potential, but he could also flop. I think somebody that should be on your uh, list of players that will do well is Eugenio Suarez for the Reds. I think he's gonna be great.
There you go. From the man himself. Yes.
Guy hit
Um,
50 bombs last year. I mean, what do you want from him?
no, for sure. Um, I think you're probably right there. I mean, I think Suarez, the way I left him off, I don't know why I quite left him off. I didn't leave him as
He's
a
he's on my
player.
bench when he's going to be the DH.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Um, but that's the thing. That okay. So I got to talk to you about this. You got Kairos Davis, right? You got Devers, and you got Suarez. How do you say his name? Gene.
Yeah, I
You got
mean, Mean Gene, but it's A. Eugenio.
Eugenio. I just totally forgot his name after he got traded away from the Tigers.
Best trade in the history of Major League Baseball. Sent
Just
you big
tore,
pasta, Alfredo Simon.
tore down his monument up at Comerica.
You should.
All about him.
Yeah.
Uh, so what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do here, man?
I mean, right now in a 60 game season, it looks awesome. You need bats every day. We're playing 11 teams at the time. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but right now, you need to be able to fill in slots.
You trading Davis to somebody? You
I'm
trading?
sure Steve Shell will take him. I mean, he loves Chris Davis.
He does. He does. You gotta get rid of one of these guys, and you're not getting rid of Eugenio or Devers.
Yeah.
So it's K Davis. He's on the block,
I
right?
felt I felt like I thought at the time maybe Chris Davis would have had outfield eligibility. Did he not play outfield last year?
He was straight up util.
Straight up,
Didn't I mean, maybe he played a couple games, but yeah,
not enough. But this year, I mean, didn't they say they were going to tinker with the eligibility, like 4 games or something like that?
he's not gonna get it.
No, not 4 games.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Maybe he will. I don't know. But that's
But
one
if
thing that
but if he does, how great would that be for my team?
that's one thing that's a problem with me is that Jordan is not going to pick up like the National League outfield eligibility
Yeah.
now. Like in the 162, halfway through the season playing in some National League teams, he may have gotten 8
Right.
games outfield, but not this year.
Mhm.
So he's
Yeah,
forever.
they have no reason to put him. It's like when Big Poppy at the end of his career would play first base a couple of games, and it was just terrible. You know.
Terrible. So he's forever going to be a DH for me now, and I have to deal with that every year now.
Yeah.
But whatever. So yeah, on the block, Chris Davis. And so yeah, anybody else that I'm thinking about here that we should be talking about off of your team? Um, you should
No.
trade Verdugo to Yachts.
Yeah, I
Verdugo's
mean, he's certainly more suited on a roto roster, but I think he's going to do well.
what about trading Rizzo too and throwing Votto in as your first baseman?
Yeah, I mean, I have high hopes for Votto, kind of a homer pick, but I think it was my last pick of the draft.
Nice.
And so I have high hopes for him, but I mean, he was terrible last year, just flat out awful. He had 47 RBIs last year as, kind of the meat and potatoes of the lineup. But now that they've added all these other bats, he better step his fucking game up, dude, or get the fuck out of town.
Be better. Let's head on to Mookie here. He's got Freeman, Lindor, and Castellanos.
Dude,
Uh,
Freeman's situation does not sound good. I
it does
mean,
sound good.
it sounds like he has some of the worst symptoms.
Yeah,
Kind of compared to some of these other guys. A lot of the players in the MLB sounds like they're asymptomatic.
right.
Others are saying they have mild symptoms, but Freeman, Markakis called him and was like scared. He was like, nope, nope, I'm out. This guy sounds like he's dying.
Yeah, that's not cool. That's not good at all. Um, that's so. I guess you could trade Rizzo to Mookie.
Oh, dude, and he loves Mookie, so
Oh yeah, for
he
sure.
loves Rizzo. Yeah,
uh, Lindor and Castellanos for his bus. I got Lux, Gavin Lux, Manny Machado, Charlie Blackman, and Brantley.
and Blackman, we don't have much information on him, but he's one of the first players big name players to get coronavirus, and he's still not in camp. So must be
Yeah,
something going on with him too.
he had some symptoms as well, I guess. I think he's doing okay. Not as bad as
Yeah, hopefully. Lux, I think, again, one of those guys has potential, but we haven't really seen anything yet, and he hasn't had the chance to do anything. So,
I mean,
in a
maybe
sense,
to Michael Brantley, calling him maybe a player that is volatile.
yeah, I mean, Brantley, I don't know. I feel like Brantley, we talk about one of those players is what he is. I feel like he's that guy. Like he will put up the same consistent numbers. So I don't know if he's so much. He's not he's not exciting. He's not sexy, but he's gonna put up numbers. You look at his last couple of seasons, unless I'm completely wrong, he hits in the 300s.
Right.
311, 309, 299 were his last three seasons. So I mean, he's hitting in there 22 home runs, 17 home runs, and then the year before he only played 90 games, so it's kind of hard to tell him that. But he's in that kind of 20 home run, 85 RBIs, 88 runs. So I mean,
I don't know. I just feel like that's going to dry up at some point. I don't know.
or
Maybe not.
I mean, it's going to dry up a roster spot. Like I said, it's nothing flashy, but he's the kind of guy that will give you, I don't know, 15 points a week, and do with it what you will. I mean, that's all you're ever going to get from him.
So he should be on the in the top part there. He should not
I
be
don't know. I don't know about top because I mean, isn't the top part like good players? Like he's just kind of average, I mean,
Yeah, no, you're right. And I mean, I guess that's where, I mean, I don't know where he drafted him. I don't think I wanted to draft that guy for a reason. Um,
late in the draft, I'd take a look at him. Like I said, he's solid 15 points, but he's never going to get you 30 in a week, and he's never going to get you 5 in a week. He's just going to be 15. And so, do you need guys on your team like that every now and then? Sure. You don't want to take all the risk and then end up with an 0 and 11 week, but at the same time, you don't want a roster full of guys like that either, which we haven't gotten to that team yet. So,
well, should we get to that team?
I mean, if you know who it is.
We'll keep moving on here.
All
Let's
right.
go to Make It Rain here. This is a Cowan draft special. And the only safe players I really got. Now, I think Starlin Marte should be in as a safe player.
What's going
We
on with
have
him though? Well, didn't he have was he the one that had somebody die at his house?
his wife
Oh, who am I thinking of? Somebody had oh, that was Carl Crawford, right?
died. Carl Crawford.
Yeah. They're
I think
like
he went.
they're like the same player. I mean, they're the same type of player. I feel like Carl Crawford is getting sued because a woman and a kid died in his pool or something like that.
I think you're right. I think he had like a house party or something like that, and something happened where there's an
Shit,
incident.
shit got wild. So Starling Marte is generally a solid player. I mean, did he get traded to Arizona or something, or he signed it as
Yeah,
a free agent?
yeah, he got traded. No. The Pirates, did they
No,
trade him?
I don't know. Regardless, he'll hit 290. You know, what, 10 homers, 9 homers? And that'd be pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I take, I guess.
In this season, right? I mean, you don't know.
Yes, I don't know.
So I
Uh,
think I think he could be on that top list that he's going to perform.
yeah, I
Um,
think you're right. I mean, that was Mookie's what, third round pick or so?
Make it
Uh,
rain.
uh,
Make it rain.
yeah, I was like, wait a second. Um, no, gosh, wow. One, two, three, four, fifth round pick, Starling Marte. It's pretty good value right there, I think.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. So for his bust, I had Josh Bell. I had Jose Ramirez, his third round pick, as a bust. I just can't rely on him with what he did. It was
He's the epitome of all time, I think. I mean, he can be amazing, and then that stretch for Gupta was
yeah,
awful, just
terrible.
so bad. You skipped what's his name, Luis Arias or whatever. So
Darius.
yeah, so for some reason in the articles I'm reading, in the off season, so many people have picked him as potentially somebody to bat 400 in a 60 game season,
Wow.
and I don't know why. Like, I mean,
Are you sure it's not Louis Robert? I mean Louis Robert from
no, I don't think so. No, Twins guy, right?
yeah,
Isn't that who we're talking about? Twins?
yeah,
Yeah.
his twin. Um, hmm.
I've seen it several times, and I'm almost 100% sure it's not the same article every time.
In that article, you've probably seen Jeff McNeil's name though.
I don't remember. I just remember
You remember?
his name because I've been like, what? Like, why? I mean, how many games has he played in the major leagues? I mean,
Hey, that's for sure.
right. So why are we all of a sudden saying this guy's just gonna go out and hit 400 in a 60 game stretch?
I don't know. I guess his hit tool is good.
He hit 334 in 92 games last year. So what's he doing in 30 less games? Just gonna start raking?
Maybe he was bad in 30 games.
The last 32 games and his
Yeah,
first 60, he was great.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I got Bo Bichette as a player that you can't rely on. I don't know if that's fair to Bo Bichette,
No,
but
but
he's
I think he's got bust potential. Again, we
yeah,
haven't seen enough.
right. And then Yuli Gurriel for sure is that guy. I mean, he did have kind of a breakout season last year. I mean, I think Yuli Gurriel had over like 35 bombs last
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And
year. A terror.
at some point, I feel like he's got to come back down to earth a little bit.
He's old too, man.
Yeah, he's 36, and so
Yeah.
he's first baseman, right? So he can't play DH because of Jordan. Somebody we already just talked about, Kyle Tucker, got some reps at first base. So, I mean, is that going to cut into his time? I don't know.
Yeah, right? Huh. Interesting. Um, yeah, he got Yuli Gurriel in the eighth round too. Damn.
That's Cal's fault. That's not his fault. Even though Matt wouldn't throw him under the bus on his appearance, that's Cal's fault.
No, right? I mean, that's a 13th round pick or something like that. I don't know. Like,
Right.
ouch. Like, so eighth round, he could have had Fulte there, Kentameda, Castanhura. Um, he could have had Dick Porcello. Anyways, yeah, just a couple question marks for the Make It Rain team as always. Let's move on to Yox's team here. Team Yox timer. For his safe players, I got Yelich and Meadows as his safe players. Now, I should put Trey Turner in there as well too. He's got to be a safe player, right?
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
He's fast enough. I mean, he's not going to hit a bunch of bombs, but he's safe. Um, Anybody else that should be a safe player in there?
I'm looking at his roster.
Maybe Carlos Santana should be
Yeah,
a
maybe Carlos. I feel like he does what, like 285-ish?
right. I mean, he's that head-to-head like darling, right? And
Mm.
I just I don't know. But for his bust, I got Whit Merrifield as a kind of a bust. I just don't think he's gonna like he's not gonna get 200 hits this year. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, I think you can kind of, he won't even get 200 at bats, so you can kind of mark
Uh,
that down. I don't know. I think in head-to-head points, I don't know. Is Merrifield ever sexy? No, I don't think so. I mean, he's
Sexy.
he's a roto machine, because of his stolen bases, right? But even last year, though, he only had 20. So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, I think he has plus potential. The guy always hits around 300. Um,
I don't know.
he's a second baseman, so I mean, it's like who you comparing him to say that somebody's going to really outshine him at second base.
Yeah.
Um,
So for his other bust again, Victor Robles,
yeah.
who like I mean I don't know what we're gonna get out of him. Um, he could be good. I mean, look at his
Uh,
hard.
I mean, but he's like a 250 hitter, so
Right.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Victor Robles, and I mean that's his utility player. But who else are you gonna get on there? He does have Alberto Mondesi, who's got some potential, but Yosh's team is just, besides Yelich and,
And Meadows and Santana.
but really besides Yelich, nobody's gonna really put up a 30 plus point week. Maybe Turner every now and then because he will have those, tear
Yeah.
tear weeks.
Yeah.
But I feel like this team is a bunch of guys that will put up 18 to 20 points a week, and they will do that
Keeping
consistently. They'll consistently, and so they'll keep Yox's team in the middle of the pack each week. So I don't think his team will ever go 0 and 11, but I also don't know if he's got the firepower to ever go 11 and 0. He does have Shohei Ohtani on his team too, so I mean he doesn't show up on the bats for some reason, and I don't really know how that works. I've never had Ohtani, so that's another player that might do well. Um, but I think what's really going to hurt him is his pitching staff. He's got DeGrom, he's got Bieber, two studs. I mean,
Yep.
but outside of that, it's nothing exciting. I mean, Otani, who knows what we're really going to get from him? He's coming back from Tommy John.
I tried to
Um,
try to scroll down and I didn't go down. He doesn't have very much depth either.
no, no. So I mean, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He has 8 pitchers because he's going to lose Leak because Leak opted out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has 7 starters right now, and the depth I think is going to be his issue. Stroman could be great. I think he'll struggle though because he's playing against the AL East as his out of league play. So he'll be
Like I don't want any East player the pitchers right now.
no, no, no. And I think honestly a lot of now it may not affect Stroman as much because he pitched for the Blue Jays in the AL, but anybody that's pitched most of their career in the NL, I think is going to take a step back. You're not striking out the pitcher, as one of the guys that you're facing every year. Now the dominant elite pitchers, will it affect Scherzer? No, I don't think so. Will it affect those top flight guys? Probably not. But I heard a stat the other day, like Madison Bumgarner's pitcher strikeout rate was like 14% or something.
I was just going to bring up Mad Bum actually. He's the guy that number one pitcher that struck out pitchers was Mad Bum.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
think, I think he'll still do okay. He's in Arizona. They have a decent squad, but, you lose some value if you're losing, points every single time out, every time through the lineup. And, who knows? I don't like Mad Bum to begin with because he fucked me, but whatever.
he did fuck you hard. Anyways, he's got Puig on his team.
Yeah.
Um, where do you think Puig's going to go, and where do you want him to go?
Um, I think Puig's a great locker room guy. I mean, I think he was great for the Reds. Is he ever going to live up to what the potential was when he, came over? No. He's not. He's not. I mean, he's just not going to do it. Last I heard, and I don't know, it might have been a couple weeks ago, it was the Giants were interested
That's
in it.
the Giants that like everybody talked about, but that
Hasn't
hasn't happened.
happened. Right, it hasn't happened. So I don't know. So I mean, he may get dropped off of Yax's team, and he may need to be dropped anyways. I mean, the bigger problem here, yes, he's missing some pitching depth, but he can probably solve it with getting rid of one of his seven outfielders. I mean, that's a lot of outfielders.
He's got a lot of outfielders. Um, yeah, he'll
Ugh.
be looking to make some moves. Man, I can't wait for that that first opening. I got two guys I gotta pick up, and
Yeah, I'm looking at some people too, but then I'm also interested in some of these teams are missing a bat, and so they're going to have to drop a pitcher to pick up that bat. And so is it an opt out guy? Well, fuck, I don't want him, or is it somebody that's serviceable?
all right, like I'm excited, yeah, to see who gets drafted for those players. That's always fun. Like picking up the trash that people thought were trash
Yeah.
is always.
Because Sonny doesn't have a second baseman and doesn't have a backup bat, so he's got to drop a pitcher. And it'll probably be some back end trash. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it was Eric. Does he not have a backup? Oh no, he's got some bats he can play with, but he doesn't have a shortstop.
Was it
Um,
Moose? There was somebody earlier that I was looking at that didn't have
Eric doesn't have a shortstop, and I think that's because last year, I think Ketel Marte still had shortstop eligibility, but he doesn't this year. So he doesn't have a shortstop, and he probably didn't draft a shortstop because of that, because he thought he still had it. Mookie, um, right now he has everybody, and he's got Brendan McKay. Isn't his name Brendan?
yeah.
Um, is a bench spot on offense because they're saying he's gonna DH every now and then. I guess I don't know.
Dude, I hope that guy does. I want him to. I like that idea, but he's a better pitcher than he is hitter for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
But Otani's not like that, and that's Yax's keeper next year. So excited for him.
Is it?
Yeah, he's keeping Otani next year for
Why?
sure. Because he's amazing. Otani's amazing.
He's been able to draft him every year, hasn't he? I mean, so why does
Yeah,
he need to keep him?
good point.
Nobody else has really rolled the dice on him yet.
All
So
right, let's go to the hot lunch here. Um, the hot lunch. I got three players that should. Oh, I say Matt Olson, because I love Matt Olson this year for some reason.
mm,
He's got Justin Turner as a solid guy, and he's got Mike Trout. But then next to Mike Trout, I wrote Baby.
yeah, I mean, we don't know. It could be terrible.
Yeah, who should I trade for Mike Trout right now? Like we make the trade right now, and no matter what happens when it opens up, that trade goes through.
Right.
Am I trading Framil Reyes,
He
Aaron
won't.
Judge?
He won't take that.
What if I give him Aaron Judge right now for Mike Trout?
He won't take it because Judge, I feel like has potential to miss time too, just because it's Judge. Every year he misses games.
Think I have to go pitcher?
He might go pitcher. It's got to be like
Kyle.
Kyle Gibson. Get the fuck out of here. Are you 100% sure that guy's pitching?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's locked and loaded.
They said he had ulcerative colitis and there was a chance he was going to bail.
Yeah, I heard something that it's not that big a deal. I don't know.
I've never had ulcerative colitis, so I don't know, but I feel like it probably is.
Oh, it's not that big a deal. Don't worry.
No.
Yeah, I don't have anybody else that he would give give it up that I want to give up for Mike Trout.
Yeah.
I have like my top four pitchers that I don't want to give up for Mike Trout. I guess I could give up Zach Gallen for Mike Trout, but he wouldn't do that.
No, he wouldn't do that. I think Gallen's a good pitcher. I think if you have Yu Darvish in your top four, though, that you're sadly mistaken, which I'm sure you do. So
Did you see that pitch?
it was a ball. We've already talked about this. It was a ball. It was a blatant ball. I'm not swinging at that.
Well, everybody go out and see Darvish's new pitch. Anyways, let's get back to
What do you call it? What was the name of it?
what was the name of that?
Something
Some like
stupid.
monster pitch or something like that. I don't
Something Asian, I'm sure.
know. Yeah. So let's get back to the hot lunches team.
The
Olson,
the Supreme.
the Supreme. Yeah, pitch by Yu Darvish is here. The Supreme.
Yeah.
It's filthy. It's filthy. Okay, so as his like players that you can't really count, can you count on Eloy Jimenez? Because everybody tells me every podcast I listen to says you can count on Eloy Jimenez.
But I mean, can
Can you?
you? Can you? I don't feel like he put up nearly the stats anybody wanted, right? I mean, even as just a baseball fan, 267, 31 bombs, only 79 RBIs. I will tell you this though, that the White Sox roster is better this year.
Yes.
So I think that helps. So I think you can count on Jimenez. I think you
Okay, we'll throw him in there. Um, as his players you cannot count on, Kevin Biggio,
can. Yeah.
Javier Baez. I don't trust him.
No?
No, I don't
I
trust
feel
him.
like Baez has had a couple of great seasons, hasn't he?
Not really.
No?
Nope. Maybe a good 2018.
Let's check this out. 2018, 290, 34, 111 RBIs. Last year he had 281, 29 bombs, 85 RBIs, 89 runs. Well, that's good.
Good. Can
For
you count on
short, for a shortstop.
for a shortstop? There's so many good shortstops out there.
His 3-year average is 282, 29 bombs, 90 RBIs, 88 runs. I feel like you can count on it.
I'll take Marcus Simeon instead. He's got Willie Calhoun and Miguel Andujar,
Yeah.
the players that I just don't really care
Yeah, I mean, Andujar was on my team 2 years ago, and he was really good. Last year, he was hurt, and I felt like he lost his job after that, didn't he? I mean, so is Andujar, is he starting?
about. He's starting for Brett Mack in his DH right now, unless you want.
What's that? Is that
I don't know.
you?
I think I was moving around in my
Damn,
seat.
dude, you gotta go on mute when you're fucking ripping ass. Last year, he batted a buck 28 in 47 at bats and got 3 fantasy points.
3 fantasy points?
Last year, 3 fantasy points. When did this guy get drafted? 3 fantasy points.
Oh man, that hero.
But in 2018, I picked him up. That's when my team was really, really good. I just hit on some players. He batted 297, 27 bombs, 92 ribs. So I mean, he had a great season for me. But last year he got 3 fantasy points. So is he DHing for the Yankees? I mean, I feel like they have a third baseman.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, Tachman. He's playing for the Yankees, isn't he? Mike
What
Tauchman?
is he, an outfielder?
Tauchman?
Come on.
No, he's only DH eligible in our league.
Who?
And Duhart.
Because he only had 3 fantasy points and didn't play enough games?
Um, so he's got Kyle
That's
Seager and he's got a Queen. How do you say his name?
Aquino, who's right now, July 9th, 2020, not on the Major League roster. So
What is he doing these days? What is he doing?
he's in Prasco Park in Mason, Ohio, taking BP with the rest of the scrubs. So the third baseman for the Yankees is Gio Urshela. That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
Mike Tauchman's an outfielder. Clint Frazier, Brett Gardner, Mike Tauchman. But then they also have Aaron Judge and Stanton. Fucking Andujar's not getting any at bats if Stanton and Judge are both back.
So, uh,
Dumb.
yeah. Well,
Anyways, so Aquino, maybe down the road they'll have some at bats for him. But I mean, they signed so many players that they just don't have room for him. And then they drafted a guy in the Rule 5 draft that they have to hang on to. So if you don't hang
Right?
on to him, they go back to the other team. So
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I don't. I. It's not good for him. That's for sure.
no, and he struggled at the end of the season, and then in the spring, I think he was shit too.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Not good. Okay, so let's move on. We got one last team here. I think we're running a little long on our Zoom chat. We got Whisper of God. Let's get into it here. He's got the safe player Bogarts, Xander Bogarts. That's all I got.
Solid
You
player.
got 8 players for him?
I feel like Max Muncy could be solid. He's had a couple good years under his belt, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What's your big question with Altuve? Just, now that he can't tweak his nipples anymore, like he's not going to be good, or
I just think Altuve over the last couple of years has just not been Altuve, especially like looking at his last year. Just don't really care for him that much. Where
I've never wanted to draft Altuve in my entire fantasy career, but I still feel like he's a good player.
yeah,
I mean, I stayed away from Astros for sure this year. I don't think I have a single one. So I was so happy when Eric took Verlander, so I didn't have to. I didn't want him.
what? You don't
No,
want
I mean he was hurt first of all, and
yeah.
still doesn't sound great. He had surgery on his groin or whatever. But I didn't want him. I mean they're done cheating, so I don't want that shit.
Dude, it was kind of wild, our draft this year with the pitchers being hurt
Yeah.
and how they went in the end of that like first round. So when uh, Scherzer, then Whisper of God took Strasburg there,
Mhm.
where I thought he was going to take Bregman, and then I was like, do I take Strasburg? Do I
Mhm.
take Clevenger? I was like, do I just take Clevenger even though he's kind of hurt? I don't know. Um, and then Snell went. Greinke went to Browntown in the second round,
Yeah.
and then that's when Corbin went to Detroit. Diesel was the next pitcher. Then I took Clevenger.
Well, Corbin went before Clevenger.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Clevenger was like kind of hurt.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. He was hurt.
It was just like there was like is Snell hurt? Is who else that we were worried about like being hurt? Yeah, Blake Snell being hurt was like a big deal,
Yeah.
and like I didn't want to take Strasburg as like the eighth overall pick.
Strasburg's good though. I mean,
I mean, he won a Cy Young right last year.
did he? I don't know.
I think so. Okay, so I got Altuve, Muncy, and Vlad as players like I'm just not too sure about.
I
Or was
think, and I think Andy would agree with you that he's still not sold on Vlad because he needs to see more production. Um, Altuve, I don't know if I would put him in a bust. I don't think I'd put Muncy in a bust. Some of the other players you have listed, um, I don't know if Mike Tauchman can be a bust. I mean, is he any good? I don't know. I mean,
is he going to be on his roster opening day? Like,
is he going to make is he going to have significant playing time if Judge and Stanton are back? Probably not.
probably not. Oh, he has Luis Robert on his team.
Okay.
I like him. He's going to be good. He's got Lourdes Gurriel. I mean, I like those Blue Jays. I like those young Blue Jays, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I kind of wanted Lourdes Gurriel on my team.
But I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, he was on pace last year because he only played half the season for 40 homers and 100 RBIs. So that's not
Yeah,
bad. That's pretty good. But you don't think he's going to perform this year?
I don't know. I don't trust him. I guess it's like that's the don't trust list. Um,
I feel like with Andy's team, they would have done much better in a full season. Um, I feel like he has a lot of risk reward players on his team. So Kopech, I mean, in a
yeah,
60 game season, will he really be as good as he would be after getting some time in the beginning of the season to ramp up and to be as good as people think he can be?
sure.
Um, the same thing. He's got Mackenzie Gore on his team. I don't think he's going to crack the major league roster at the beginning of the season, at least. I mean,
Just
maybe he will, but I don't think so. Um,
so yeah, players like Mackenzie Gore, they have to stay down a week, right, before they get even called up.
is that? I mean, I don't know what the rules are with the shortened season on their playing time for control.
So for control, yeah, for at least for the pitchers, I know you have to stay down like a week before you can bring them up, and then you're fine. So that's interesting, I guess.
But even like Lamette, like I feel like that's. I mean, last year he started 14 games and went 3-5. Like, I mean, could he have had a great season over 162 games? Yeah, maybe. But I feel like the pressure to jam it all in 60 games. I mean,
Fourth round pick.
was he?
Yeah.
That's pretty rough. Um, I think Dakota Hudson takes a step back.
I mean,
Um,
Lamette has two pitches.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, two,
I think Hudson takes a step back. 16-7 last year. I don't think he'll do that this year. Well, that pace. I mean, of course, he's not going to win 16 games.
wait,
Um,
Dakota Hudson was 16-7 last year.
yeah, 16-7. But his expected ERA and all those, kind of extended numbers were much higher than he actually came in at. So like I don't remember what his expected ERA was, but it was like in the fours, and he really pitched like a 3.35. So it's like he um, outperformed what he should have put out
Sure.
there.
That's why I guess I'm so like I don't understand why he went 16-7 last year. He was drafted in the 19th round. 19th round.
Yeah, he went 16-7, 17 quality starts, 3.35 ERA.
That's crazy. I did
Only,
not know.
only had 136 strikeouts in 174 innings. So,
Oh,
so
nobody, nobody likes that.
he won 16 games, but he only put up 299 fantasy points. Like that's odd.
That's terrible.
So I think he takes a step back. Obviously, like I already said, I like Strasburg. I think Soroka will pitch well. I think Hamels.
Oh, you think Soroka will pitch well?
I do. Um, was there something about Hamels? Maybe it's just because the whole Braves team's been torn apart that I can't keep up on them.
Animals.
But Sandy Alcantara, I don't think he's ever going to pan out. Guy went 6-14 last year.
I'm done
Um,
drafting Marlins pitchers. Like,
yeah, I mean they had four really good pitchers. What was it, 2 years ago, and just none of them really panned out. Matthew Boyd, I think, will pitch well, but again, um, only because well, yeah, he'd be better if he could face the Tigers, but he's not. So he's facing the Royals and the Pirates, and that'll help. But
all right,
um, it's just a lot of risk reward. Maybe Hudson does really well and his staff's fine, but I think you're taking on a lot of risk and not a lot of quality starts. Like you just know you plug this guy in, he's going to be good. And except for Strasburg, I don't know. I don't see it. So
okay, Bill. So let's get to it here. Which team do you think has the most bust potential? After looking at these like bats, we're gonna leave pitching out of it.
okay.
What team would be the most bust potential?
Hmm. I think CMD.
CMD.
Yeah.
So you're saying the team with JD Martinez, Cattell Marte, Harper, and Stanton, Miguel Sano, and Tommy Pham has the most. That's the biggest bust.
I
That's the
don't.
biggest.
I have no faith in Stanton. I don't even know if Guzman's the starter in Texas. I have no idea. Um, and I'm not a huge Harper guy. He, like I said, the last couple of years hasn't been that great. I feel like there's a lot of plus potential there. Yeah.
Hmm, gotcha. Yeah, no, it's true. That could be it. Um, I don't want to say my. I don't want to say, it. And I mean, it
Could.
totally
It could.
could
I mean,
could happen.
it could.
I don't think it's going to. The players I drafted, I think their chances of having that top level performance compared to bust performance is huge. Um, but I I think it's more of gosh, man, I think it is Whisper of God. I do. Um, I know uh, Altuve, Muncy, and Vlad are like the question marks for me, and they maybe shouldn't be question marks, but you got Castro, Gurriel, Soler, Tachman. He's got to figure that out. I just think that I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna get, and maybe Vlad and Muncy will be fine, and they probably will be. But
I think Muncie's got more of a shot than Vlad. I don't know. I want Vlad to do so well, just because the potential, and I'm just a fan of baseball. Um,
yeah, yeah, for
but
sure.
but he's already going to have to drop Mancini, so maybe he picks somebody up. That's awesome. I don't know. I mean, because Mancini's out for the season, so um, yeah, I don't know if I would want Luis Robert starting on my team. I don't know. I mean,
I want that guy starting on my team. That guy's gonna be good this year for sure.
but I don't think he's making like the opening day 30-man roster.
He's starting for them this year for sure.
Hmm.
Yep, he will be. No, the guy's good. Guy's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be good, but again, I think that's kind of what you're talking about. There's also high bust potential there because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Mikey's team has a lot of bust potential. I kind of like it that he does. But I think when we first drafted and we were looking at like team totals,
hmm
like this team had the most like home run potential. Most players with over 30 home runs projected was like Mikey's team.
Yeah,
With Abreu,
yeah.
Bryant, Ozuna.
I don't know what to think about Moncada. I mean, maybe in this lineup he's just a stud, but he hasn't reported yet, so I don't know.
I don't know.
And Soto's got Rona. I don't know if Tommy LaStella should be on a starting squad. He's more of like a horror bench bat, that gets tossed around. He was last year, I think, second base, third base, outfield eligible, and so people would pick him up, plug him in.
I got four teams that can like flip the other way and be like just like top tier, like if everything goes right type of thing.
Okay.
Uh, you're on there. Your team's on there.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I hope that they can, do really well.
Harris Davis, if Rizzo hits 30 bombs this year.
Pace, 30
No, no.
pace. He's not gonna hit 30 bombs.
Like for sure I could see your team going off. My team's on there as well, obviously. Moose, Bregman, Alonso, Judge, Franmil. Like I got some home run hitters for sure. Um, and Whisper of God is actually on this, which is stupid. But yeah, things could swing the other way with Vlad and Muncy and Altuve. And Soler could just go off again. And Bogart's like, I mean, that's could be those five players.
Yeah.
Bogart's, Altuve, Muncy, Vlad, and Soler could just light it up. And then I like Lord Scuriel. I've always liked him. And then my last player, last team is the Hoff, actually, which is weird. I was looking at Bellinger, Rendon, Simeon, Acuna. Um, if he does well, if Dahl somehow puts it together, and if Kyle Tucker gets at bats,
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do on the roster. Um, I mean, he's got no backup bats. Kyle Tucker, yeah, I still don't know about that. I mean, is
oh,
he
Hoff is the one without backup bats. That's
right?
the one.
Yeah, he has no
Yeah,
backup bats. Um, I'm not sold on Kyle Tucker until I see a lineup that he's actually starting every day. And his team's decimated. Rona and opt-outs just crushed. And then he has John Means on his team, who pitched for the Orioles, and that's weird. So
yeah, it's true.
he's
That's
he.
like a third starter too, fourth starter.
I mean, now Price is out, and Erod's solid, but he's got Rona, so he's got Paddock, Cole, and maybe Ryu. I mean, if he can get a little bit more of that Gupta magic, but that probably already all got rubbed off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Austin Voth. I mean, is that what we're doing now?
Well, somebody from who's not pitching for the Nationals this year?
So, uh,
Didn't somebody opt out for the Nationals?
um, what's his name? Zimmerman, but he's a uh, fielder. He's a batter.
I thought there was a pitcher that like
Joe
is not.
Ross.
Yeah,
Was Joe
yeah.
Ross actually going to start in the rotation?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean,
Huh.
I
But
don't. I don't know. Austin Voth or Eric Fetty are the potential fifth starters. So maybe
right.
that dude doesn't even start for the Nationals.
Huh. Interesting. You can pick him up once he drops him when the waiver wire hits.
I don't want that guy, but I will tell you the player I'm most excited about
Okay.
is Andrew Heaney. That guy's gonna be a monster.
I like it, man.
He's the Angels opening day starter now.
Dude, who's starting for the Giants this when they play the Dodgers the first day?
Um, I don't know who's even a Giants pitcher anymore. Jeff Samardzija, is he on their team?
Well, I got Carlos Guzman, not Carlos Guzman. Kevin Gossman.
Yeah, it's terrible. He was a reliever for the fucking Reds last year.
Yeah, I gotta drop him.
Oh, I have Johnny Cueto. So what's up? Is he starting opening day?
Yeah, he has to be for
Yeah,
sure. There you go.
he's so good.
You, you drafted one of those guys. Oh
Yeah,
man,
I can't
that's,
believe I picked him.
you better
But
get
he's
him.
he's gonna be awesome this year. Everything that I've heard. Yeah, Johnny Cueto is the number one. Jeff Smarja, Kevin Gossman,
Yeah, I'm dropping him.
Drew Smiley, Andrew Suarez is the number five, and then the emergency starter is Tyler Anelbeed.
Dude, what the fuck about Tyler Beatty? No, what about Pudge Rodriguez's kid? What happened to him, man?
I don't know. No idea. But every pitcher on rotochamp.com for the Giants is projected to be under 500. Johnny Cueto 3-4, Samardzija 3-5, Gosman 3-3. So not under 500. Smiley
Okay.
2-3, and Suarez 1-2. They're dumb.
I got the good one.
There's a chance Buster Posey's going to sit out too, isn't that what I heard?
Yeah, nobody cares.
I don't think he's on a roster this year.
You could be. Yeah, I don't think so.
No, he's not. He's a
Um,
free agent. So.
what else was I just about to ask you? Shit. Uh, damn it, I forget. Um, who's gonna win the first week? You got any projection?
The first week, who's going to go 11-0?
Yep.
Like I said, the one that jumps out to me the most is Yox. I feel like he'll be between 7-4 and 3-8 every week. Like he'll never bottom out, but he'll never. I don't think, at least, and I could be completely wrong. He could go 11-0 every week. Um, Obviously, I think Sonny's team has the potential. That Justin Upton pick, I think, could pan out, but I know what you mean about him. I think you had him on your list.
Yeah.
But I feel like his pitching staff
You like
should
it?
should win out. I mean, the top end's really good. Sonny Gray, Greinke, Bueller.
Pure.
Past that, I mean, Jesus Luzardo is obviously a huge prospect, but that's still yet to be seen. I'm surprised Jordan Montgomery's on his team, but
So it's Gupta. Gupta's gonna win your. I mean, I think in the first week uh, with the longer week, it depends on
got
like
to be smart with your starts. Yeah,
the best pitching.
yeah, but it just means he's not going to throw Matt Shoemaker, which again, he's got so many good top end pitchers. Some of these other pitchers I don't understand, like Jonathan Loaizaga. I mean, it just picking pitchers because they're Yankees. I mean, they're both those guys in the starting rotation, Montgomery and Loaizaga. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just weird. Woodruff had a great year last year. I feel like he's going to come down. I mean, the Brewers are dumb. Um, so I feel like he'll still be worth the value of the keeper, but I don't think he's going to have as good a season as last year.
No.
And what was going on with Julio Urias? There's something happening with him, wasn't there?
Um. Well, I just think they're questioning with like what's going to happen with him with Price being out. Like, how many innings is he going to go? They don't think he's going to go a lot of innings. They're going to think
Yeah.
like Dustin May is probably going to be that like load master coming in
Hmm.
with stripling chicken strips is supposed to be like the load master now. So while Urias is going to be maybe opening like for the first couple innings, it's going to be Stripling and May that's getting the wins, you know.
Yeah,
And
and you
same
have
thing,
Dustin May.
yeah, this is the same thing I was having with Lizardo too. Is that they think he's going to open, and then like AJ Puck's going to come in and get the win after the first couple innings.
Yeah.
So I mean that would hurt.
Yeah, Chicken Strip says he's going to be able to pitch 6 innings on opening day. So there was at one point that they were throwing Tony Goslin in the mix there too, but I don't think he's reported yet.
I think Jimmy Nelson was on that team, but I think he's having TJ now or something like that. I think he just got hurt today or something
Oh,
like
really?
that. Yeah, that sucks for Jimmy Nelson.
Back surgery,
Back surgery.
lumbar surgery.
Jimmy Nelson's been hurt for so much, like, and
Yeah,
he sure
he's only 31, but yeah, that sucks.
sucks. Um, I think that about wraps it up here. Anything else you need to add or trade talks that you want to ask me about?
Have you made offers already?
I've thought about it,
I
but
mean,
no.
I mean they can't process until the 19th, so I don't
Right.
know. I don't know why anybody would accept an offer on July 8th and wait 11 days. Things could happen.
If you own Mike Trout, you would.
I think he's gonna ride or die with him, to be honest. So
If I'm throwing you Darvish out for Mike Trout right now, would you do that?
Me, no, I don't think, and I don't think Yu Darvish is very good. So
But he's got the new
Supreme,
pitch.
the Supreme. No, Yu Darvish is like what's that other Japanese pitcher?
Dude, what?
I'm trying to think. The one on the Yankees that just never did well.
Hideki Nomo?
No, Nomo had a couple good years. Was he on the Yankees at one point? Because he was on the Dodgers when he was really good.
You're thinking of Dice K for the Boston Red Sox?
Daisuke Matsui never did very good.
He pitched for you.
Hideki Arabu,
Oh,
um, who apparently died in 2011. Did I know that at the time? I don't know. Died at the
well,
age of 42. I mean, that's sad to shit on somebody that's dead, but 72 and 69, 355 ERA. And that just, to me, screams you Darvish, just kind of a 500 pitcher, um, not better than that. So
yeah. What?
and honestly, I didn't even know this, but he's 63 and 55, 357 ERA. They're twins. He is Hideki Arabu's twin. Hopefully he lives longer. He died at 42. I wonder how Arabu died. That's crazy.
Let's not go down that
Oh,
pigeonhole.
oh damn, dude, he hung himself.
What?
Terrible.
This is well. Thanks
Terrible.
for joining us today, guys.
Terrible. I bet you nobody knew Hideki Arabu was dead. And
We're gonna end on that note.
that just means
Damn.
you Darvish should probably do the same thing soon. So, couldn't even seppuku, a little.
Oh man, that's terrible. Oh shit.
Ugh, yikes.
Mm.
How bad is Brett going to be this year compared to last year? That'll be the last question.
Pretty bad.
He's going to fall, right? And I've already talked to him, just one on one. He's like, I expected it, I won the ship and now I'll just get shit on. So,
Right. Oh gosh, just already projecting that shit.
yeah. And his team and Hassels, I feel like, have taken the brunt of opt outs and Rona and all kinds of things. But, sickly, like Brett has said it. Maybe that's good. Get it out of the way now. I don't
Everybody's mailing ballots in on Brett Mack's team this
know. Voter
year.
fraud.
Right. Um, well, no, Bill, thanks for coming on tonight. This has been great. We really
Yeah,
we think we needed this to go over every team, kind of bring it back into like what what we got. Like, there's a lot of players that haven't looked at our league in a long ass time,
yeah.
and this brought it back into perspective of what kind of bats we have out there.
No,
And
for sure.
in our pitching, I mean, we could do it, but I don't know. Like, I'd rather, I don't know how to go about evaluating our pitching in our league.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, most teams have a good 1-2 starter except for Mikey's team. But other than that, I mean,
We have so many fucking pitchers that you're just, what the fuck?
well, I mean, I think any of them, those top end guys, those, 1-2 starters could have breakout seasons, and you just don't know. Are they going to be on a 20 game win pace? They have the potential, but are they going to do it? And so it's hit or miss. But I don't think those are the guys that in a 162 game season really win you the league. I think it's those guys you find that are 3, 4, 5 starters that just outperform where they're supposed to be.
Right.
Obviously, you want a Scherzer, you want a Cole, you want a guy that's just going to go out and put up numbers every time. But I don't think you win with them. I think you win, stealing people middle of the draft, picking up a free agent that's going to do really well.
Dylan Cease, Kyle Gibson types.
You have Dylan Cease on your team? Yeah. Man, you are definitely boomer bust.
Homer Bailey types, you know.
Oh God, he's so bad. I go, is your staff that bad?
Dude, it's like it's the perfect storm. I can't explain it to people about how good my staff is, but
Lance Lynn. I mean, fuck, dude. Kyle Gibson. It's bad. Dude, you got Garrett Richards on your team.
they're letting him go this year.
Like,
Unlimited.
like releasing him off the team?
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, all
Last year,
right,
hold on. My last comment, and then I'll let you go.
all
So we,
right.
we were talking about, I don't remember who it was who had 3 fantasy points, and that was so funny, right? So Garrett Richards started 3 games last year,
Yeah,
and
okay.
he was negative .03 points for the year.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good.
0-1 with an 8.31 ERA. But he's on your team. That's cool.
Yeah,
Good luck.
draft it.
Good luck.
Draft it. Bill, anything else you got to promote here? How can people get at you? What's your Twitter handle?
At Molson Beer Exchange.
Nice. At Molson Beer Exchange. Cheers, Bill. Thanks for coming on today. It's been a great talk.
Bye bye.
We'll see ya.
Bye.